Good? All right. First off, again, my name is Todd Chamberlain. I'm the Chief of Police with the City of Aurora, the Aurora Police Department. I would like to say thank you very much for being here. I think this is incredibly important to make sure our community is aware of what happened tonight. Earlier this evening, right around 7:30, one of our officers working a driving under the influence or a DUI saturation task force for the Labor Day weekend observed a vehicle that you see behind me, and there was some type of traffic violation that occurred. Our officers got behind that vehicle, activated their emergency equipment, lights and sirens, and immediately it looks like the driver of the vehicle that he was following actually rear-ended another vehicle that was in front of him. That caused his vehicle to go across the median that you see behind me, at which time he struck another vehicle. Our officer, based on the actions of the suspect, based upon what he had just observed, got out of his vehicle and ordered the individual inside the car, the suspect, to show his hands, open the door, and step out of the vehicle. At some point, after much conversation, trying to persuade him to do what the officer directed, the suspect stepped out of the car and started to move towards the sidewalk area. This is still very unclear at this point, and again, there's going to be an incredibly thorough investigation that unfolds throughout this event. But what we do know right now, at some point it appears that a gun was seen by the officer on the ground, and the suspect appeared to be walking towards that weapon. The officer attempted to de-escalate the situation by grabbing the suspect, pulling him back away from the gun. The suspect turned towards the officer at that time, it appears, and started walking towards the officer in a really aggressive posture. While he was walking towards our officer, he began to shout at other people in and around that area that were near the location, and this is verbatim. He began to say, "Get my shit, get the shit, get the shit," over and over. Again, this is all speculation, but it seems that he was referring to having somebody retrieve that handgun or that weapon that is still presently on scene. Our officers continued to back away. It was one single officer on scene. He was by himself here at this time. He backed away. He actually stepped out onto the street. At some point, as the suspect was talking to the other individuals on scene, making this request, our officer actually made a physical contact move, trying again to de-escalate the situation. The suspect immediately turned towards our officer, raised his hands, and aggressively approached him and began to verbalize with him about, "Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?" and some other type of verbiage that was made. Our officer stepped back. He continued to walk away. He continued to verbalize with the suspect. He got moved out to the center of the street, at which time our officer fired, it appears to be 1 to 3 rounds. It is still unknown at this time. The suspect dropped to the street. Our additional units arrived on scene. At this point, fire came and the individual was pronounced dead. What we have now is a crime scene that we are processing. We have the CERT team from the 18th Judicial District. Again, this team is not affiliated with the Aurora Police Department. They are their own entity, and they will be conducting this investigation from start to finish. We are going to do everything, both internal and external, to make sure that this investigation, again, I know this word gets thrown around quite a bit, but that it's transparent, it is 100% valid, and it is factual. That is our goal of what we will do with this investigation. That is our goal of what we will do with the partnership with the District Attorney's Office and the investigators from throughout this area that will be looking into this matter. Right now, that is what we know. That is the information we have. Our officer is not injured at this point. He has been transported to our police headquarters where he will be interviewed. Additional information, facts will be pulled out. The one thing I want to say that I think is also really important on this shooting right now tonight is that we have the officer's body-worn video. We also have flock systems or cameras from our mesh system that captured the entire event. We also have closed-circuit televisions from both the restaurant across the street and I believe also from the gas station. And then I think what's really important too is that I think that we have a number of individuals, community members in and around the area who are also videotaping this on their phone. So that's the one thing that it doesn't appear right now that we are lacking, is having a good understanding from the aspect of digitally capturing, of video capture, what this event involved, what it occurred. And as the investigation continues to unfold, much of that information, including the body-worn video, will be released. The one thing that's important to me to make sure that everybody understands is that this was not a singular event. There was multiple things that occurred. We had an officer by himself who saw some type of violation. He tried to make a traffic stop. The behavior of the suspect was not normal. He plowed into another vehicle in front of him, which caused it with such force to go across the median and into oncoming traffic. He then crashed into another car. He refused, at this point that we know for sure, to listen to our officer's directions. He refused to adhere to what the officer was saying. He immediately became aggressive. He approached our officer. There was a weapon on scene that we know without question. There was discussion by the suspect trying to either retrieve that weapon or get assistance in dealing with this lone officer. Our officer de-escalated this on multiple levels, both verbally as well as physically. After our officers got put to a position where he was back out in the middle of an intersection, that appears to be the reason that this came to the conclusion, the unfortunate conclusion that it did. I'd like to say again, we are going to investigate every aspect of this. Again, there's still a lot that we have to determine. There's a lot of information that we have to figure out. This is without question a tragedy at every level. There is nothing positive about this. There is nothing positive for our officer. There is nothing positive for the suspect involved, for his family. There is nothing positive for the community that had to witness this. And all of this could have been averted had there just been a communication and had that suspect listened to the directions of what the officer was attempting to do. Again, as the investigation unfolds, hopefully we'll determine why there was a deviation from that, what the reasoning was, but right now that is what we know. Our officer, again, I want him to know that until we determine all different aspects of this, we are going to be fair, we are going to be ethical, we are going to make sure that he gets the support that he needs, as well as we make sure that this department gets the support that they need. We are also going to make sure that the family of the suspect can walk away from this tragic event knowing without question that this matter was investigated thoroughly, completely, and without bias, without prejudice, and it was done both internally and externally as this continues to unfold over the weeks and the months and the years most likely. With that, I'd like to open it up to any questions.
Chief, we've been hearing from at least one witness here saying that officers failed to render assistance immediately after this happened and for some time. Why was that the case?
Yeah, and that again is what we're going to have to look at as part of the investigation. Again, you were talking about a single officer here. That officer just got involved in a shooting situation with an individual that was not listening to him. You had other individuals around the officer that were either aware of the suspect or in somewhat communicative with the suspect. So again, to be able to render aid, you have to feel secure in being able to provide that aid. If that officer felt threatened, if that officer felt that he couldn't do it because he had to be more in control of the scene around him to ensure his safety and the safety of the community, we still had a weapon that was laying over in the bushes here somewhere. There was a lot of factors that were going on. So although first response and first aid is imperative, it has to be in a situation that allows for it. And what we know right now, it doesn't appear that that was allowed for, based upon the actions of the individuals around, and even based upon the actions of the suspect, who for whatever reason that we still are trying to investigate, had a handgun that was now opened up to many people within the community.
I know that the pursuit policy changed back in March, and there is a set of criteria for why an officer would initiate that. I just want to get some clarity on exactly what initiated this. What was the impetus leading into this?
And again, we don't know right now. This was not a pursuit. That's what we do know. This was not broadcast as a pursuit. It appeared that it started maybe right over here by the 225 and on 6th. That's what we know, but it sounds like it was more of a routine traffic stop that escalated quickly. But this was not a pursuit.
Was that individual in the car with anyone else, or was that person alone?
Right now it appears that he was by himself.
And I know that we, from the time being out here, have seen quite a bit of a crowd form. What would you tell the people who saw this scene?
To the people that saw the scene, first off, I'm sorry they had to witness that. I think anytime you witness a tragedy like this to anybody, it's shocking to the system. I would like to say, I wish it could have ended differently. I wish that the suspect would have listened to what the officer said. I wish he would have merely put up his hands, stepped out of the car, and had a conversation with the officers. Again, these are decisions and these are things that he decided. This is not what the officer decided, it's what the suspect decided. And so again, to the people that are here right now, and you can hear them in the background, I asked them for calm. I asked them to let the investigation unfold. I asked that they understand this isn't something that we are going to have answers to overnight. But I also want to plead with them, and I want to let them know without any question that we will give 100% of the facts, good, bad, or indifferent, about what happened here tonight. And that is what I want to let people know. But really what I want to say is let the facts guide you. Because right now, there's a lot of information that no one can validate, no one can give exact information on. It's still an investigation that's unfolding, and it will be unfolding for many months to come. And so I ask that people look at the facts and not get misinformation, not get pulled into the dynamics of someone spreading false rumors or false issues, but instead let the investigation unfold. The investigation that is, again, not being completed strictly by the Aurora Police Department, but by outside entities. Let that investigation unfold before you make a determination.
Just to clarify, was the weapon first on the individual or just seen on the ground?
Yeah, and right now, again, that's exactly what I was talking about, the facts. We don't know yet. And that's what we're trying to determine, and that's what we will determine. And that's why I'm very hesitant about saying anything that is not 100% factual, because we are based on facts. I am not based on emotions. I'm not based on what people perceive or think or a bias that they may have. I'm based on the facts. And the facts right now, we don't know. I don't know. We might know very soon. We're going to know after the interview occurs. We're going to know as all these videotapes are pulled. We're going to know as witnesses are actually discussed and spoken to. But right now, I don't know.
And then last thing, being told by people in the crowd too that that individual fell to the ground and is still there. Is there anything clarity you can provide there as well for us?
Yeah, after the individual was shot by our officer, he did fall to the ground. Again, that is really one of the hard parts of this investigation. We are working as rapidly as possible to get him removed and get him in a better place. Because again, he is somebody's possible family member, husband, wife, I don't know. But I know I want to supply him the dignity that I would to anybody. But unfortunately, what we can't do is just randomly change the crime scene. It's imperative in this event, with all these unknown factors, that this crime scene is processed, that it's done properly, and it's done correctly. I don't want to take shortcuts. I want to make sure that we are doing the right thing for everybody involved, for his family, for him, for our officer, for this department, this city, and this community. So that's why we are in that situation right now.
And do we know if the other people in their cars, were they injured? Do we have any update?
Right now, it doesn't appear that any of them were injured. Obviously, they are going to be witnesses as part of this investigation.
For clarity's sake, how long before medical assistance was actually rendered to the suspect?
And again, we had a fire respond here. They are the ones that actually pronounced. I don't know the exact timeline. Again, this event unfolded right around 7:30, 7:31. So again, we're going to have to do a track, look at call for service records, look at when the officer broadcast, look at when the scene got contained enough to where that they were able to provide services to him.
I know you're saying that obviously there's going to be an external investigation as well. There are a lot of people for whom there has been kind of erosion of trust between police service and the public in some aspects. So I do have to ask, what are the next steps and how do you go about kind of, reforming that kind of relationship?
And I'm sorry, the last part of that?
Yeah, what are the next steps in terms of being able to transparently go about this investigation, and then how do you kind of reform that relationship that seems to have been eroding some?
Yeah. The investigation, again, it's methodically planned out. It's not something that spontaneously happens. Again, we are in collaboration with the district attorney's office, with the entities that are part of this CERT team that comes out and reviews it through the judicial districts of 18th District. And again, it's going to be processing the scene here. It's going to be extensive interviews with the officer involved. It's going to be extensive interviews with everybody and anybody who saw this. It's going to be looking at and reviewing all of the camera and all the CCTV, the body-worn video, anything that is available from anybody. As a matter of fact, I would like to ask the community, if you have any video that you might have taken, please make sure that video gets brought in, whether it's to us, whether it's to the district attorney's office or the judicial 18th, some way. Again, please, we want to make sure that anything that is captured on this event, any evidence, is available and open for the investigation. So that's how the process will take. It is not a quick process. It will take months and months and months, and that's where we are at right now.
And what about bridging that disconnect that seems to exist? There's a lot of people over there who are very angry, and they've been, shouting for part of the night at some of the officers as well. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that is a struggle. It's something, again, that we want to, one, hopefully through the communication that we have had prior to tragic events like this, building relationships with the community, letting people know that we are transparent, letting people know that we are open, letting people know that we care about what occurs in and around this community. But for this particular group, again, it's going to be building trust. It's going to be asking them to please stay calm. Please make sure that their actions are based on facts and not merely on emotions. Let the facts of this incident unfold. Let the information develop, and let the investigation occur. Again, it's easy to make assumptions when you don't have the information, when you don't have the knowledge. But we want to make sure that the information is factual and it's real. Working with the community behind us, working with this entire community as a whole, is what I'm doing right now, to be honest, through your support. And I don't mean support in you trying to say one side of the story or the other. I mean support that you are here right now and that you are taping this, and this is going to get out to our community. That is a huge part of what we are trying to do. Because tonight, just hours or hour after the event, I am trying to give as much information, as much transparency, as much clarity as I can. But there is still many, many things that are going to be investigated. Many, many things are going to still unfold. And that is what I ask, is patience and understanding and the ability to allow this investigation to come to completion. Anything else? Again, thank you very much. I appreciate all of you being here at this hour. Thank you very much.